don't know if I want to be.
Why are you talking to the finger guns when you're not lead host? Jesus. Can I have more finger guns, please? Not from you, because your finger guns are the middle finger guns.
Uh,
But
noticed.
I'm not doing that though. Come on.
Ready? Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 253 for April 19th, 2018. I am one of your hosts, Trevor.
Adriel.
And I'm Brian the Temp.
Brian the Temp. We didn't do nicknames, Temp guy.
I know, but I'm rolling with it because I like it.
That's not how
I'm
it
the
works.
Temp. What are you going to do? Fire me?
Exactly.
Whatever.
I'm the Temp, and I'm here to mess stuff up.
I'm the ruiner. That's what you.
I'm the ruiner, yeah. Oh, so the description that's on tonight's show, which we don't read anyway, is not actually the description. You got really busy today, Brian, in the show.
Well, I was trying to be out ahead of you, and then you changed your mind, and I just said a word we can't say, and that's it.
And that was that. All right, very good.
Yes.
Well, gentlemen, I can't wait to get to the main topic, and I also can't wait to finish sorting my ammo for this weekend and pack and do all that other stuff. So let's just move things along, shall we?
What he's saying, listeners, is he has better things to do than record.
I have better things to do than hang out with Bolivar.
Everybody does. Everybody, all the listeners do too. Like, this is not news.
Right. And they're even doing this for free. All right. So what we did this week in guns is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. If you don't shop there, you are a communist. Not sure what exactly is on sale there this week, but head on over to their website.
I put something in the show notes.
Your sugar tits. I thought that was last week's.
No.
All right.
No.
So apparently this week at the Calgary Shooting Center, they're featuring the Bravo Company Gunfighter charging handles on sale for $30.
What?
Which show notes are you reading?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm reading the ones right in front of me. What are you talking about?
I don't know, refresh or something like that.
Yeah.
The Calgary Shooting Center is now featuring the Mossberg 590A1 SPX Tactical for $1,019.
How come that didn't refresh live? I knew that was there from last week.
I don't know. Are you on our show notes?
Are you on my show notes?
Yeah.
Good thing you're lead host.
Take note.
That's all I'm saying. I didn't ruin that.
Shut up. There it is. All right. Okay, Brian.
Cool.
Why don't you tell us what you did this week?
All right. Well, okay. So I'm going to go back in time a little bit. I did do some testing with that IBI barrel of mine. It shoots right good. My a couple of 5-shot groups that I fired with
IBI.
IBI.
What's that?
International Barrels Incorporated.
Yes.
Yeah,
seriously? That Ryan guy?
Yeah.
That Ryan.
I know who it is. I'm asking for the listeners. Come on. We know this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies, Adriel. That was really good of you.
Yeah.
He couldn't wait to claw you into you.
I'll wait. Anyway, okay. So I did some testing at the range actually a few weeks ago, and it was shooting with my good match ammo, like 3/4 of an inch, 0.6 of an inch. Loving the accuracy precision that I'm getting out of that barrel. Now, I ran into a funny issue though.
Can we back up?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's stay on the precision part. How is this stacking up compared to what was on the rifle before and what was on the rifle before?
Before I had a Rainier Arms Select barrel.
So like an unknown manufacturer.
Yeah, no.
Run of the mill, like DPS kind of?
Basically a Renko barrel. Basically.
Right. Okay.
No. Yeah. So I had a pretty decent barrel on it.
Yeah. So you were starting in a good place.
Yeah, starting in a good place. And I went back through my records actually this morning, and it shot about a minute of angle with that same load. So this is cut. It's a 25% improvement in precision with that barrel change. So
all other things equal, same recipe, etc.
Exact same ammo, like leftover ammo from last year, literally. So
excellent.
Yeah. So I'm pretty happy about that. So, and overall, it just shoots pretty darn good. I mean, the VBUL that we shoot at is about a minute and a half. So this is shooting half that. So giddy up. If I can read wind, I should be able to hold inside the V for most of the match. So giddy up. Now, moving on, I did run into a weird problem in that the new barrel was not cycling the action. And I messed with the gas block. I moved it around and I tried to recenter it. I just could not get this thing to properly cycle. So I got in touch with Ryan and we talked about a few different things. And I sent it back to him that week to have him take a look at it. Now, one change I made before I sent it back, which I should have tested before I sent it, I took the gas tube off and put my old gas tube on. I had a brand new gas tube on this thing. And I took that off and replaced it, sent it to him. Typical, like you send something that's broken to somebody to fix it and it works perfect. So he had no problems getting it to cycle. He sent it back to me. I took it to the range yesterday. No problems getting it to cycle. So apparently the brand new gas tube that I purchased from a store that was going out of business was garbage. Where is it? Here.
Was it like pinched or like the
I don't know, but it's done now. We will not be using this for anything ever. I will not even give this to my worst enemy, this thing. So
to the listeners who are listening to this edited, recorded version later, tell them what you just did, Brian.
I just took my gas tube that wasn't working and bent it more than 90 degrees. That is the best thing you can do with a gas tube that doesn't work.
Like a pen that doesn't write, put it in the garbage because somebody else is going to pick it up and use it.
Oh, and most likely it'll be me. That'll be so. Why let myself trip over that? So, anyway, so the gun's cycling now. So I've put it all back together. I've put the Matador Arms flare stack brake on it, and I'll take it to the range this weekend to start doing some ladder tests for velocity, just to see where the flat spots are with that same combination of powder and bullet and primer, and we'll go from there. And
talk about the recent love affair between you and Matador Arms, or was that already done?
Well, we talked about that a little bit last week. They did decide that they were going to sponsor me this year, so I'm very happy to have Anika and Nolan on as sponsors. And
send you like a Starbucks card or maybe
sandwich.
A free sub.
Well, yeah, I sent them $20 and they sent me a $20 Starbucks card. It was all good. Yeah, So they're supporting me with a few things here and there, and cool. I'll have some Matador swag around at events, and it'll be interesting. I hope to be shooting some more of their stuff because they do make some stuff for like rimfires for like 1022s, and I now shoot 1022s competitively, and I do okay.
Nope. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, I got lucky. Everyone, you know what? Every match there has to be the person in front and the person at the back at the end. That's.
I am so happy that I wasn't on last week's show, because when we're on an episode together and you win a match and I lose a match, I don't think that is a good time. I've had a whole week to recover, so I'm mostly okay.
Yeah,
mostly.
That would have been a thing. Because it would have been all night Brian going. So yeah, as I was saying about how I won my match, Trevor, how did you do in your match? Oh, that's right, you didn't win. Did
no, you? I seriously wouldn't do that.
Oh,
not multiple times. Once.
Yes.
Enough until he hung up. That's when it would stop.
Brian hung up on me today with style and gusto. I texted him right back and was like, "Sir, that was some of your best work."
Well, to be fair, you had gotten me minutes before, so yeah, we're kind of even today.
But I foreshadowed mine. You dropped yours on me like a piano.
That's the best way to drop a hang up on somebody. It's like a piano.
Absolutely.
So, and then what else did I do? I ordered a Kraken holster from Highlander Tactical, because I want a different style of holster for some stuff that I'm doing. I actually decided I'm going to finally have a holster that I can use the light on the gun with. Why not be all tactical, that kind of thing. And
Did
then
you go straight to Ryan or one of his dealers?
Oh, I went straight to Ryan. Yeah, just because, hey, I'm left-handed, so nobody has what I need in stock ever. So
also known as wrong-handed.
Well, and so he texted me back or Facebooked me back to say thanks for the support, and my response was, "Shut up and build my holster." I don't want your thanks. I want my holster.
This is time. This is time that could be spent on my holster.
That's right. Like, are you folding Kydex as you type this? I don't think you are. So let's go. Come on. Anyway, so and I know it's going to take a few weeks to get to me because, frankly, he has some other customers that he favors. He decides that people who are using arms in harm's way are more important than people who shoot matches.
Strange.
Yeah.
You know what I can foresee happening here is a relationship between Highlander Tactical and Slamfire, not unlike the relationship between the Gun Dudes and Concealment Solutions.
Oh,
do we get free holsters?
He should be hooking us all up with holsters, and we should be pimping out promo codes and having them on the show. Right?
I see nothing wrong with anything you just said.
I know, right? And I've got 2 of his holsters now, one of his regular ones, plus I've got a prototype competition holster, which I wish he would continue to pump out. And I would love to just use it exclusively for my 1911. Hint, hint, Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
So what you're saying is what you're saying is you can be bought.
Oh God! Yes. I do it for sale like a $2 holster.
Yes. Yeah, no.
Look at the hat I've got on, for Pete's sakes. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, it's fair. So what we're all saying is that Trevor and myself and Adriel are all open for Highlander Tactical sponsorship.
Right. Well, the show, like you know.
Yeah. Well, and me, because I'm not.
Well, as members of the show, we benefit from the show sponsorship.
Oh, okay.
And he benefits from things like, if you don't carry your gun in a Highlander Tactical holster, you're a communist. So, you know,
can you just use that for anybody? Isn't that strictly for Calgary Shooting Center, or do you just whore that out for anybody?
Anybody who pay. Like, I won't just call anybody a communist. You got to pay. It's like Gunny, God bless his soul, right? He wouldn't do the lines from Full Metal Jacket for free. Like, you had to pay to get yelled at. Well, if you want to not be labeled a communist.
Yes, or if you want to be extorted.
Right.
Yes, something.
Or if you want your non-customers who aren't customers yet to be called communists, and have them believe that the only way to not be a communist is to buy your product, I'm your guy.
Yes, and I will ride on your coattails if it gets me stuff.
All right, carry on.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, and the only other thing, you know what? I've got something else in the works, but we're just gonna wait and see how that pans out as time comes. So it'll be something to talk about in the future. I can't give away everything I've done all at once because I'll run out. So I think that's about it.
All right. Let's see. So that should put us to me. The nail test. You guys remember me talking about the nail test?
No, I didn't. Which nail test were you doing?
This was with these the cellular and bellet ammo, which, I mean, I learned so much. One, I thought it was French. Turns out it's Czech. So anyway, I thought it would be non-corrosive. And when it arrived, it was in 2 those Spam cans that were welded, lead soldered shut.
Delicious.
Could you do me a favor, Adriel, while you've got the cat there? Could you kind of hold it by the back of the neck and punch it in the nose? It's taunting me. I hate that thing more than I hate clowns. Anyway,
such a bad man.
Anyway, so Denny at the shop, he brought in a case of 7.62 by 25 because I got a Tokarev, and because it was Celly and Bellet, I there's a lot of things I didn't know about the company. I had no idea that they were around as long as they were around. I thought they were made new. I know that they're still around, and I know they make newly manufactured 7.62 by 25 ammo, like this box I'm holding up to the camera right here. This is the stuff we see in the stores all the time today. It's newly manufactured and it's non-corrosive. So this is what I assumed we were buying. Like, I don't know, 1,400 rounds or something like that. Anyway, when we get it, it's in a wooden crate. It looks like milsurp all day, every day. We cut open one of the cans, and I'm like, this sucks. This is written, it's got 1946 stamped on it. It's obviously going to be corrosive. So we take a nail that has rust on it already, clean the rust off the nail, put the nail in the vise, pull a bullet, stick the case over the head of the nail, and pop the primer, and it sat for 3 days. We did it on like a Friday, and Monday was a holiday or something. When we checked it on Tuesday, no rust, just some carbon. We wiped it with hoppies and a patch, and everything came off. How does that make any sense?
Did you do a sample nail, a control nail that didn't have anything done to it whatsoever?
No, it's a good idea.
Because you're out practically on the ocean, and metal just might rust just through the sake of being metal. Actually, what you might want to do is take some of that commercial stuff, pull the bullet off, pull the powder out, and strike one off on a nail, just to have one that's got like a known non-corrosive and a known corrosive, just to compare the two.
Good idea. All right, that's how I'll go back and redo it. And then I shot Spring Bang. Spring Bang is an annual indoor match at the AMA range in Dartmouth, put on by IPSC, Nova Scotia. Mistakes were made. This is my second time shooting since the fall, when I was DQ'd in a 3-gun match for my pistol falling out of the holster. And when I went to the match in March, I went there with absolutely no expectations. I hadn't been shooting. I had had surgery on my hand, blah, blah, blah. I had been pretty much a couch potato all winter. So the guys were making fun of me, saying, "Oh, you're making up your excuses already." And as the listeners who have been listening to the show week after week, I won the match. Okay, so Brian and I, we talk about mental training a lot and some of the common errors that happen that competitors make. And one of them is trying too hard, overtrying, putting pressure on yourself, stuff like that. So the match in March, I just let it flow. I just went out and just performed, and I let my subconscious take over and do the shooting for me. When I got to this match, I was like, all right, I'm just coming off a win against all these guys, and these guys are awesome, and I beat them all. So I should be able to do it today, but I better try. I better try to beat them today. And I was looking at the score, the results on practice score. I was 4th or 5th fastest in the match. So that's like right up there with the open guys and the production guys. And I was faster than the 2 guys I beat last time. But what killed me were the mics. I lost the match in the first 4 stages. I had more mics in the first day than all of last season combined. There was one time I specifically remember, Adriel, I went into a shooting position into a port, and I started to run to the next shooting array before I was done shooting. My feet were moving before the gun was completely, I didn't follow through, right? Like I gave up on the shot and took off without any follow through.
So you were trying to like move faster than you could shoot.
I was moving faster than I was shooting, and I was shooting faster than my current accuracy ability. So I got it together at the end, and I won a couple of stages, and I did good on some big stages, but it was too little, too late. And there was two major surprises. One was Captain Andy. I mean, I took him for granted this match. I didn't pay any attention to him whatsoever. There's a thing about, if you're trying to beat one guy, well, you may end up beating him and still end up in 3rd place. You can't just pick one guy or 2 guys. You got to pay attention to yourself and pay attention to everybody. And I didn't pay any attention to Captain Andy at all. I mean, I owed him a couple of times, and I knew he was doing well, but he always does well. Well, Captain Andy blew us all away. When we left, though, we were given the results for just our squad, and other people weren't done shooting, so we didn't have everybody else's results in. And when they come in, they change the numbers. But between 1st place and 4th place when I left was less than 2%. So we were all quite close. But anyway, Andy beat me, so I'm like, okay, well, he beat everybody. So it was like Andy, then Sean, then Jim, or Jim, then Sean, I can't remember. And then a new guy, Tim. This guy, I saw him at the March match, young guy, and he was shooting really well, and I was like, not really helping him, but like after he'd shoot a stage, if he did a little bit of like a fumble, I would just say to him, if you had that stage to do over again, what would you do differently? And he knew. So I was like, oh, shit. Like, we're in trouble. Anyway, it was only his third match.
That's pretty good for a third match. You're in trouble.
Yep, we're in trouble. So, and Captain Andy's bugging me. He's like, are you going to the Hampton 250 in June? I'm like, please, of course I am. Why? He said, oh, well, Tim wanted to know. So I suggested that him and Tim could both snack on a bag of stuff, and it wasn't potato chips, let me tell you. So anyway, yeah, I was disappointed that Andy kicked my butt, but then when I found out that Tim kicked my butt, I was like, oh man. So, and it was points. It was just points. Again, all my stage plans were fine. I bombed one weekend stage. I really got to work on my weekend shooting. Like an 8-second stage turned into 14 seconds. But I didn't bomb as bad as another guy. And I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to throw him under the bus. But he's a really strong shooter. His name rhymes with rim. And he was being videotaped. And on the weekend stage, when he got to like the second mag, he looked to the video. His videographer said, "Stop filming." So anyway, it was pretty good. So yeah, awesome match. Lessons learned. Rookie mistakes, really, for me. I know better than that, but
okay, but you did learn some lessons, and the second day you won some stages.
Yep.
So you were able to collect yourself, make some corrections, and still salvage a solid performance, even though you didn't come in first.
Right.
So you have something to build on for the next match.
Yeah, I'm gonna Tanya Harding Tim in the parking lot.
You could do that, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. However,
yeah, if you saw Tim, you would advise against it. He's young and he's big, and I think he works in corrections.
Again, I'm not advising against it. So
right. Yeah, you want to watch the world burn.
No, I just want to watch you burn. But if that doesn't work, then you do have some things that you have some confidence built up that you can unmess yourself up and perform the way you're supposed to perform. So you have some positives, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I got enough experience now that I know exactly what went wrong. I went in with the wrong mental mindset. And I was talking to Sean, and I'm like, I'm trying too hard, and I'm not letting it flow. Last time I just let it flow, and he's like, well, then go let it flow. So
there's a song about that, isn't it? Let it flow. Yeah, it's a Disney song. I think.
Probably hasn't been drilled into Trevor's head like it has everyone else's.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So, while I was there, I got to test fire my backup gun, which was my Norinco NP29 that I had built. So this is the one that Andy tightened the slide on. At the same time, he cracked Adriel's slide. We tuned the frame rails, polished inside note, re-blued, ton of STI parts. Anyway, dovetails welded and then milled for new sights, etc. Only to find out with the new sight I chose, it doesn't fit inside the IPSC box, so it's not an IPSC legal pistol. So we tightened this gun up, and it was nice and tight, like it was good. And we had to use some lapping compound and lap the slide back to the frame. And 10 rounds. I wish I had the slide with me. It's at the shop. I fired 10 rounds, and first thing was at 25 meters, it was shooting over top of the target. And then being a dyslexic, I adjusted the rear sight incorrectly. If you're shooting high, you move the rear sight opposite the group. So you bring the rear sight down. I brought the rear sight up, and then we moved to 10 meters and was shooting over top of the target at 10 meters. I was like, what? Anyway, realized as soon as I put it back in the case what I had done wrong. But that's not the cool part of the story, which is actually, it's not nothing cool about it. The gun, after 10 rounds, rattled like a 78 Dodge Ram. Unbelievable. It was crazy. Couldn't believe it. It's like it may even be worse than before we touched it. So, man, I don't know. I'm a little puzzled by that. How a gun that was all tightened up could loosen up again that quickly.
Well, if
hurry up and figure out that front sight, because I need to get my front sight figured out too.
Well,
I got the same problem as you.
Oh yeah, it's shooting really high.
Yeah, we use the same sights, right?
Yeah, but I mean, who knows how my barrel fit is, etc. And
No, mine's super high. The sights
super
aren't
high.
matched to each other. Yeah, we need like a much higher front sight, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had some lower Novak rear sights, and and they're okay, but the notch in the rear, you could drive a truck on either side of the post when it's in the center of the notch. I'm like, even for action shooting, this is too much. I'd need a much wider front post, which you can get. So, but anyway, Adriel Dawson makes front sights in any number of in configurations you can imagine. So just go get a Dawson 1911 front sight.
But I need one that's higher. I don't know what height to get.
Oh, you're probably at 220 now. So measure it with your calipers.
Oh, you got to do this too, though. Can't you figure it out and just tell me which one to get?
All right, I'll take care of it.
The least you can do for breaking his gun.
And installing the wrong sights on it.
Adriel's all like, don't make me do stuff. And then I did some reloading a couple of different times. And again, tonight, right before the show started, I was actually case gauging ammo when the show started. At the shop, I only got a couple of days in at the shop, but it's been awesome. I walk in yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Today's yesterday. I walk in yesterday, and the Brownells order is in. It's full of Volquarts and goodies for me and some parts for him. And he had been building an AR, so he ordered the CRT stock. It's like the MOE, but it's got the cool lock on it. You know which one I'm talking about?
CTR. Yeah.
CTR. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I grabbed it. I knew that one. He's like, yeah, one for the shop because they were on sale. Yeah, that one. And one for my AR. So without even asking, I just go in the safe, grab his AR, and I install it, and I bring it over to him. He's like, great. Well, while we're at it, my Vortex order is in. Go put a Crossfire 2 AR scope on that, put a Vortex cantilever mount, and have at it. So I go get all the level stuff out and put his AR in the vise and level it all up, mount the scope, give it to him. He's like, yep, feels good, like the eye relief. Okay, it's all cool. It's illuminated. Man, I tell you what, that Vortex Crossfire 2 AR scope for $289 is amazing. That Bushnell I got from you, Adriel, that I like I'm not fussy with the quality of the clarity of the lens and stuff. Like, I will let that go for like $150. And what do you remember what I paid you? Did I pay you $200 for that? I didn't. I don't know either. But anyway, I'm gonna let it go for like cheap, and pick up one of these. He's also got Strike Eagles 1 to 6. Big red ring of death in the middle of that. That's illuminated.
They're really popular in 3-gun.
Oh man, yeah, and it's less than $500 too. But that Crossfire, I can't get over it for $289. It's a lot of glass for $289.
Which Bushnell are you shelling? Hold on a minute. Let me do some research while you're.
The 1 to 4 non-TCL.
Never mind. Yeah, never mind. Okay, carry on. Sorry.
Why? You thought you wanted it or what?
I wondered if I wanted it, but I don't.
Okay. All right. So then I did that one. I did his. Then I mounted scopes on 2 more ARs and a Nexa 95. All Vortex stuff, all with the Vortex cantilever mounts. And then I got to work on. So I've been building 2 Wingmasters, one a police clone and one an original like upland one. So I brought the wood into the shop because the bluing on the receiver is done. We had to rebuild the trigger groups while we stripped them and then sandblasted them and Cerakoted them. What else did we do to them? Instead, rather than refinish a barrel, I bought a brand new Wingmaster barrel, threw that on there. So Wingmaster receiver, Wingmaster barrel, vintage, unused Wingmaster furniture. We're just waiting for the Cerakote to bake on. Well, I mean, it's ready now, but it wasn't ready when I left the shop. Reassemble the trigger groups, throw those in there. What else? Yeah, the Wingmaster projects, I think, are going to turn out better than the Renko projects. And I got Volquarts and extractors put into both of those Wingmaster 870s. And then last night, I installed an M-Carbo spring kit, Volquarts and hammer, and Volquarts and extractor into the 597 I bought from Jeff Reese. And I installed a Lone Wolf trigger box in my Glock 34, and that's the one that has the set screw in the back to shorten the reset. It's not quite right yet. It feels very spongy. Not really crazy about it, so I'm going to work on that at some point. Adriel, how about you? What you been up to?
Oh, a couple things. I sold a Shadow to
Yes.
some lady. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sold that SPO1. Sold the holster that I got for it, and I
mean,
bought a Shadow.
This
bought
holster?
Yeah, that one. Oh, now we can actually see it on camera. Oh, it looks so good.
It is good. It's brand new. It's not even used. You know if your Shadow 2 will fit? Too late?
Too late. I'll just get another one.
It's not in the mail yet, buddy. And I don't mind stiffing the person you sold it to.
They already paid me.
Don't mean I gotta ship it.
Yeah. No, I'll pick another one up locally here.
Cool.
I've got enough like holster stuff. I could probably like drop and offset a regular one too. If
Right,
I really
and
need to.
keep in mind that this setup right here, again, just so you know, not that you really care,
Is
but
not
this
a
setup
legal.
not IPSC legal. Yeah.
Yeah, the butt of the gun is too low on it. Yeah.
Yeah, the offset moves the grip of the gun more than 50 millimeters away from the body.
Oh, probably that too. But the grip would probably be lower than the top.
That
of the
can be
as well.
that's super easy to fix. It's the cant that's the problem. But yes, you're right. The butt of the gun cannot be below the top of the belt.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so anyways, yeah, I got a Shadow 2. So Calgary Shooting Center had some, and I'm like, hey, I'm not a communist. I'll buy from you guys. And that was primarily, actually, the reason primarily why I bought from Calgary Shooting Center is the Alberta CFO is pretty quick, and I like that transfer will come through nice and quickly. So,
less than 24 hours quick?
Yes, absolutely. All
Nice.
the transfers I've been doing in Alberta are less than 24 hours. And I've been doing a few recently. Actually, yeah, when I called in today, it was like, I'm going to buy this one. I'm going to sell this one. They're like, are you a business? I'm like, no. Just,
No, I'm just an addict. I'm not a business. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think that's
Don't
their way
ever
of saying, do you have a problem?
Yeah, don't ever say I'm an addict when talking to the CFC.
True. Yeah. Okay. Good point. I'll give you that one, Trev.
All right. Yeah, so that happened. Yeah, so I'll get to do that. I got a Wi-Fi hub, and this is not really super interesting for gun stuff, but take a look at this tiny little Wi-Fi hub. This is what I'm going to use for 3-gun to hook up all the tablets at the start of the day. Trevor, you've got like a battery-powered one that's really nice. This was much cheaper and much smaller. This is $10.
Oh, geez. No, mine were not $10. Mine were like $80. They're not. That's not much smaller than mine, but yeah, you got me on price. That's for bloody sure.
Yeah. Now, I mean, reliability might not be that good, but I tested it and it was fine. Like all the Practice Score tablets hook up to it, and they all transfer their thing, and they can't get access to the internet, but who cares? Does all the Practice Score thing, right?
Mine, I just set them up for the first time last night or the night before. Cause I'm taking them with me this weekend. I'm teaching my first of a string of black badges, and they both have the same product number. But one has 3 different functions. The other one is just straight up whatever its primary function is.
What are you talking about? A hub or
the cordless battery rechargeable Wi-Fi hub?
Huh. This one's got 3 functions, and I'm never going to use them. I set it up once, and that's it.
Yep.
Now it's USB powered, so technically, if I like drive around with my Jeep, I could leave it plugged in there, or I could get like one of those little battery packs and just like roam around and do pulls of scores and that kind of thing. So.
At the Nationals this in Calgary last year, that's what they were using, and they had that in their pocket along with the battery pack.
Cool. So they walked around with their master tablet, just syncing scores every once in a while. So
we do the same thing at SummerSlam.
Yeah, and then people can, if you've got the Practice Score app and you're on the special crappy hub, you can pull your scores, right, and compare where you're at.
Depends if they have it locked down or not. There's like a posting password that you can get, so I'm not sure.
I probably won't do that then because I'm trying to like keep it simple, stupid, and I don't want to get too crazy.
No, and if you set a posting password and forget it, oh, nightmare. That happened to me last year at SummerSlam. Was not good. It took days for them to like hack in and fix it. How they were able to, well, I mean, there's a Russian working on it, so I guess they can hack into anything. And he got in there and sorted it out.
Cool. I was talking to some guys on Reddit, and they're like, "Hey, I bought some of that 760 by 54, and it seems to be corrosive. So what's going on with yours?" And ours are made in different factories, but I thought I'd try mine again and mail some of my. Maybe I'll mail some of the primers. I don't know. Is that legal? Can you mail primers?
I don't think not live ones. No.
Not live ones. Maybe I'll strike them off on some nails, wrap them in paper, and mail those. I'll put some nails in the mail.
That would be a better idea. Yes.
Yeah. So I redid my nail test with the 762x54 that's supposed to be non-corrosive. And I put it in my bathroom, and I took a look at them after a shower, and they're all coated in water. so much for my test. But some of them rusted a lot more than the other ones. The test ones with the corrosive salts really took on rust. Like you can probably see that right now.
Oh yeah.
That even those ones there are very very rusty. This is my test one. That's got that 762x54 there. It doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of rust where the exposed metal wasn't covered in soot. But other than that, it's not bad. And then the other test one here doesn't look bad at all. So I think this confirms that these ones were corrosive, and they're supposed to be, and these ones are not, because well, they did rust a little bit, and that was just because they were practically sweating water. Doesn't look too bad.
So for the listeners, what Adriel was holding up is a piece of wood with 4 nails sticking out. That's what he has in the shower with him. Yep, that's right, folks. If just picture that. I'm not asking any more questions, and I'm not staying at Adriel's house ever.
If you get like an itchy spot on your back, you just get back here with this, and
yeah.
If you do, Brian, watch over that cat.
Well, yeah. Okay, fair. Most cats are evil, so that's fair.
Yeah. So I'll test with that guy. I think what's happened is that his lot was different than mine. Mine was made in a different factory, and some were corrosive and some were non-corrosive. Let's see. There's one other thing. Oh, Trevor, where'd you get your case gauge? And is it one of those big bad, like 100 cases at a time or 100 rounds at a time kind of thing?
I do not have a hundo. The only case gauges I have are, and I'll hold it up for you to see. This is a Dillon single case gauge, and apparently the Dillon is known to be. You're already shaking your head. No. The Dillon is known to be not the tightest tolerance case gauge on the market. So
it's called a hundo.
Just get a hundo
case gauge.
Yeah.
And Stoger's got some.
Yep.
For you. And you know what their price is? It's $100. A hundo will cost you a hundo. I also have EGW case gauge for 223. My 223 stuff is fine. It's just with 9mm, I crank it out. So I just want something that'll like check them.
Yep. You could do the plunk test. Use your chamber.
No,
take the barrel out of your gun.
No, 100 at a time. I make like ice cream pails of this stuff. I'm not checking them one at a time.
There's also like the hundo lines up with some, like you see this
with the MTM case or something.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's one there. I don't know if the hundo lines up with that one or not. This is MTM. Yep.
Yeah, I got some of those. I might buy one. $100. Hey. Yeah. Just because I've had a couple of failures to go into battery, and it's, the case is messed up, or the round, was inserted into the case a little bit off axis, and it dimpled it or something like that. So I got to find this. I wonder if there's Hendos in Canada. I'll look around.
Hundo.
Or I'll Hundo.
Yeah, probably not.
100.
Yeah.
How come we can't? Oh, you know what? Fast Toys has this. Fast Toys has this. Sweet.
Fast Toys.
Yes. Yeah, I bought stuff from this guy before. I've gotten some timers off this guy. 100 round case gauge bear, 145 Canadian. That's pretty good. 100 US from the US, or 145 in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, I just spent 140 US and it cost me 185 Canadian.
Yeah, I guess I'll be buying some of these from Fast Toys.
Does he have 5.56 as well as 9mm?
I don't know. Let's see. Case gauges. Oh, he has some anodized or bare. No, let's see here. What other cartridges? 40, 38 Super Comp, and 38. Nope. Okay. 40 SWXL. What the heck is that? What's 40 Smith & Wesson XL? Do they make like a bigger version of it?
Extra long in case you're running your 40 at a long length.
is designed with a little bit more room for lead and coated lead rounds, and is the suggested alternative to the 40L. Oh, interesting.
So
Yeah, I will. I will be ordering one of these in 9mm, and it will be bare because I don't give a crap about what it looks like. Cool.
So that Lone Wolf box that I put in my Glock 34,
Mhm.
that like when you press the trigger, it just takes a long time for the striker to drop. It doesn't feel right at all. It's a Gen 4 box. You can tell by the way the back is machined to fit the reduced size of the Gen 4 grip.
You have a Gen 5 Glock?
No, it's a Gen. My 34 is a Gen 3.
Mm.
They sent me a Gen 4 box. Curses, Brownells, curses.
Oh, there you go. Anyways, that's all I did, I think. I guess I'll be looking for a Shadow 2 holster. Now, should I get a Blade Tech? Should I get a solely Canadian? Should I get a Highlander Tactical? Should I get a...
I think... Did you not listen to us before?
You guys didn't compare them. You guys talked about...
Highlander Tactical, if you can get his competition one. Otherwise, it's a pancake and outside the waistband duty type, you know?
No duty. I need something
Well,
for like...
the Kraken, though, is it's set up for Safariland and what else? Oh, the one I use. I can't think of the name of it now. No, not Blade Tech. Keep going.
G-Code?
G-Code, yeah, that's it.
The RTI hanger?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I like that RTI hanger. I got one of them.
That's why I went with it, because I have my Safariland and an RTI now, and I just want to switch out the holster. And
well, look, he is a show sponsor. He'll make you what you want.
He's good that way. Now that he sponsors us,
yeah,
that's the deal.
We've decided for him.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
Yes. Okay.
That's what I'm up to.
So, Trevor, are you going to look after the negotiations on the sponsorship with?
Yeah, I'll take care of it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right, good. Awesome. So, what's up with Kelly?
Yeah, I was just reading the comments. Somebody's asking, where's Kelly? Where's Kelly? Where's Kelly this week, Adriel?
Zombie llamas have been attacking her and taking small bites. Very small bites. Llamas don't, they can't bite very much.
No, but there's a lot of zombie llamas.
There are a lot of them. Yeah, they're taking bites.
Many small bites adds up to a lot of dead Kelly.
My money's on Kelly.
Does she have?
The llamas have a very small brain too, so you got to be really accurate with your shooting.
Yeah,
she's
so
very good with it.
Well, but she did buy a Shadow, so that's a very accurate pistol. So
yeah,
possible.
That was a very smart buy. That was super very good of her.
But has the transfer gone through yet? Because the CFO may have cost her life. Transferring the Shadow.
So we need to do a question on a main topic on best 9mm rounds for your Shadow for zombie llama defense.
Yep. Future topic
next week.
There you go.
All right, no more messing with that Glock. I got to get through this show. All right, where are we at? What are we doing? We're gonna go with upcoming events now.
Sounds like the next thing on the list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Adriel, do you want to do any of the 3-gun matches that are coming up?
Yeah, well, the one I wanted to mention was Cold Lake just posted on their Facebook group, email actually, that their season opener is closed because of wet range conditions. We've had quite a bit of snow and rain out in Alberta here, and it's pretty nasty. And I'd imagine they have a lake going. Chaz, we've got a match on Saturday, and it's also probably going to be pretty wet and muddy. Mighty Peace, they've got their season opener on April 21st. Let's see, Valcartier is running their multi-gun on April 28th. Medicine Hat, April 28th. Lethbridge 3-gun, April 29th. And that's it for April.
Okay. The CFB Kingston Pistol Challenge in support of Soldier On will take place on May 5th, 9:30 to 4:30. Costs us $30 for members. Military, law enforcement, and guests are $50. There will be door prizes and a lunch. Contact Base Kingston Shooting Club at gmail.com for details. 040 North, 30 members, 50. Why is that repeating itself? Who put
just because it is. Here.
040 North? What does that even mean? Anyway, you need frangible ammo.
Yeah.
Update on the Ferlati class. We have a range. Did you guys talk about this last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mentioned that it was going to be at St. Paul.
All right. And we still have some spots left. So if you're interested, let us know. Got Your Six shoot registration is open and the website is up. Do we know who, what, when, where on the Got Your Six? Where's it going to be, etc.?
Chaz.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
I don't know when. I don't know when. It'll be on the website.
Okay. What kind of shoot is it?
Like long range.
Okay, cool. Is it always that, or do they switch it around?
I think it's always been long range. I'm not sure if what kind of long range. I think it's like a PRS style. I think.
Yeah, something like that. That's what I've seen in the past. Yeah.
Cool. Third annual Ronnie DeGroot Memorial Steel Challenge. Registration for that is open on PractiScore. Only 60 spots. I'll probably take more than that, but anyway, as far as PractiScore is concerned, there's only 60. So you can go over there and sign up for that. It's at the Rescuers Gun Club on June 2nd. The 8th annual Podcast Network charity shoot. There's been a cancellation for the Ferlacci pistol class on what's that? That's the first day. That's July 5th on Thursday. So there's 14 spot, or there's one spot open. So if you're interested, please get in touch with us so we can add your name to the list, because that's money that the kids need for breakfast. What else is going on? Yeah, that's all we got really. We'll cover that in more detail another time. Oh, the pub night for Ferlacci. Wait.
Brewster's, West Edmonton.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. So let me take out the italics, because even though I'm not reading it out loud, I am reading it, which is messing me all the way up. Okay. So the Thursday, July 13th. Well, this says Friday 13th. It's not. Which day is it? Trainwreck. Yeah, it's Thursday because the course is 14th and 15th. So it'll be Thursday night, July 13th at Brewster's in West Edmonton. It's going to be a slam fire / CCFR pub night. We had a lot of fun last year, didn't we, Adriel?
At the pub?
Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
There was a ton of people that showed up. We set up this table, and then more people came, and more people came. We kept adding tables to it. I think we're going to have to get like a really big table this time.
Well, I think maybe we should actually reserve. So if you know you're going to attend the pub night, Brewster's, West Edmonton, July 13th, it's Thursday, maybe you should RSVP, and we can let the pub know we're coming, so we can all be in the same area. Yeah. And the Ferlacci Handgun Fundamentals 14th, 15th, there's still room there to sign up as well. And we are going to be at Raptor 1. Is that what it's called?
No, Rafter 5B.
Rafter 5B. How could I forget that? It's such an easy name to remember. It's not random or nothing. Rafter 5B. Yep. And that is near St. Paul, correct?
Yeah. Well, for anyone who needs, we have the letter of invite, I think, ready to rock and roll. I can't remember. We're probably ready to rock and roll on that. So we'll just send that out to everyone, because it's got all the it's got the directions in a couple of different ways.
Right. And for those of you that weren't there the first year when we did the class, it is camping is available. Rough camping. There's a field. Bring your tent, trailer, whatever. And yeah,
right next to the range.
Yep. Okay. Let's jump into some news. Adriel, do you want to take this this first one? Who put that in?
Yeah, I think we all know about it.
Yeah.
This is the farmer that got charged. So he got off from his murder or manslaughter charge, but Gerald Stanley got nailed on unsafe storage. He's going to pay a $3,000 fine, and I think he said he was going to give up all his guns anyways, but they're going to make sure that he doesn't
take
those.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, he got charged with unsafe storage for several of the firearms he had in his home, since they were not locked up and didn't have trigger locks. The Crown dropped the charge of the unsafe storage of the restricted handgun, the one in his shed, because that is not the prescribed way to store a restricted firearm in Canada.
Just in an outbuilding, just kind of hanging out, sitting on a shelf.
So yeah, and basically he said, he never wants to have a gun again anyway. So I can sort of understand that. This was not a happy, fun incident for anybody involved. Everyone who is involved in this lost. So,
yeah, okay.
I'm not saying I'd make the same decision, but who am I to judge him to be making the wrong decision about that?
I'm not saying I'd make the same decision either, but I'm saying that if I had all of this negative media attention thrust upon me, I may say some politically correct things too to make them go away. That's all I'm going to say about that. So
there is that side of life. I understand.
All right. New gun stuff. Wolverine. Go ahead, Adriel.
Yeah, they announced their WK308A. So they talked about this a little bit on our show first, if I might add.
Yeah. So this is really not new. This is old news now.
Yeah, if you're a loyal Slamfire listener, you already knew this.
Yes.
Yeah. But they brought it up on the on Canada Gun Nuts. So I believe they're going to do similar to what they did with their previous releases and give lots of info. Now, keep in mind, this is still pretty far away because they're going to, still focus on the WK 180C. But, once they've satiated the market with thousands of those, they'll get onto the 308 version.
I have a question. Why is it Kelly can't be on the show, but she can be trolling us in the comments on Facebook? What is up with that?
Well, now you're asking her.
Yeah, sort of shows a lack of commitment, don't you think?
Yeah. Well,
it's beginning to doubt her commitment to Sparkle Motion.
Yeah. It's not good.
No.
It's lacking.
Yeah. Tradex has a bunch of Citadel Garand barrels in stock for $269. That's good. That's a good price. If you're sitting out there with an M1 Garand and the barrel shot out, $269. I believe when you install these, you need to do final reaming on them with a pull through, but that's a damn good price for a barrel.
We got to go back and fix something. I'm glad Kelly's trolling us in the notes.
Mm-hmm.
The pub night is on Thursday, the 12th. Friday the 13th is the day that we will be traveling to the get ready for our class the next day. So listeners, I apologize and thank you to Kelly. Friday is the 13th, but the pub night is on Thursday night, July 12th.
Okay, we're like 3 months away. I'm sure it's okay.
You could have just corrected that without giving her credit. Like
I know, but
like, come on.
Give credit where credit is due. I mean, yes, she hates the listeners. Yes, she's unreliable. Yes, she's trolling us in the comments. But darn it, she can read a calendar.
Okay, fair.
All
True.
right.
I see what you did there. Well done.
Back of the hand. Compliment.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
All right. So, Adriel, this TradeX thing.
Yeah.
It's too bad you didn't know about that before you sold your Garand with the, roached barrel.
You know what? That guy who bought it from me, just shooting it like it as is, put a Woodstock on it, says it's shooting great and is not replacing the barrel.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So, I always said that it's shot really nice, right?
Well, sure.
So maybe it's like, the barrel looks like trash, but it shoots really good. So who cares?
Well, hey, it's like Snuffleupagus has a Colt 1911 with a broken extractor, and no one told the gun because it just runs. Sorry, not extractor, ejector. The ejector is sheared off, broken, gone. The only part that's left is the part that's pinned into the frame, but nobody told the gun, and the gun just keeps chugging along.
It just spits out brass. Okay, cool. Interesting. All right.
Cool. Anyways, yeah, those are in country. That's good. That those have been hard to find recently.
Yeah, like Kelly, hard to find recently.
There you go.
This next one breaks my heart. S&J brought in a bunch of Wood USGI M14 stocks, and they rated them from tier 1 to like tier 3. And it had to do with the quality and consistency of the markings, whether or not they were, scratched and dented kind of thing. None of them were broken. None of them needed repair, but some were a little, the condition varied. And the tier 1, there was only like 6 of them. And I don't know how many tier 2s, but anyway, we're down to the tier 3s. And if you want one that you don't mind refinishing, for $79 plus tax and shipping, an original USGI stock, take that Norinco Chinesium black plastic, throw that in the trash, put that USGI on there. Man, if it was a pay week, I'd be all over that.
Now, for the listeners, if they wanted to buy one of the crappy stocks and need to be refinished, Trevor, is there some place they could send that stock to be professionally redone?
They could actually. A little place I work called DC Armory Gunsmith. Yeah, we'd be more than happy to hook you up.
Yeah. Would they have to have you do the refinishing, or can they request that, or can they request you not touch it? Those options.
You know what? We get both. We got Muffin, who says, "Don't let Furlot touch my stuff," and here I am working on Filthy's guns. So, that's another thing I started. I'm working on Filthy's high power. Oh my goodness, that's all I can say.
Fair enough.
I have a whole new disdain. I've developed a whole new disdain for the high power. Not a fan. Like, disassembling it was no fun. I'm not looking forward to reassembling it after I repair the work that was done to it.
The stuff you broke on the way out?
No. I'm going to undo what the previous gunsmith did. Now, that previous gunsmith turned out to be an amazing gunsmith who does some amazing M14 work, but everybody has to start somewhere, and he started with Filthy's high power. What he did to it was actually something to behold. It had the tangent rear sight, etc. That was all milled off. But then he decided to, I'm going to use air quotes here, stipple the top of the slide, and all that stippling has to be removed. And we actually have to fill some of the holes with weld first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then we've got to blend it all and parkerize it, or blue it. I think that comes blued, actually. It won't look right blued, though. It'll be like a deep, rich, Winchester rifle blued. It needs to be parkerized. We'll talk to Filthy, see what he wants.
Just hit it with some rattle can, whatever you got handy.
Rattle can is your answer for everything. We're talking about restoring a high power. Now stop it.
Nice.
No, it's Filthy's. It has to be Cerakote white. That's what Stormtroopers use.
Fair.
Yeah.
Adriel, you want to take the one from Spectre Ballistics?
They've got, I'm going to buy one of these. They've got an Ambi AR-15 charging handle. So the fact it's Ambi, like, I don't care. I'm not left-handed, but it's bigger. So it's got a lot bigger of a bearing surface to grab onto. $53.
Yeah. If they're at all decent, then that is a steal.
This looks like a
Rainier's.
Yeah, it looks like a clone of the Raptor.
Yeah. In fact, I'm sure it is a Raptor ripoff. But at $53,
I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, how often do you use your charging handle? Not that much.
And when I have used it, I've really, really wanted a bigger one.
There you go.
Yeah. I had a stuck case at my last match, and I would have really liked a larger charging handle to grab onto instead of having to mortar the stupid thing.
Yeah, but if you just had gone to mortar right off the bat, problem solved.
Yeah,
true. That shouldn't be your like MO. It's like, I've got a gem, time to mortar it.
Well, hell yeah, you know what's gonna work.
Oh, you should tap rack. You got to go through your proper remedials.
Okay, but
right?
if you know that you have a hard extraction, tapping and racking, well, you get to the rack part and you go, oh, it's not racking. Time to mortar.
Yeah.
That's your next step. Oh, it doesn't rack. Okay, and collapse your buttstock, people. Just collapse, please.
Put your fingers on the buffer tube while you're hitting it down, and the rifle will automatically collapse on your finger.
I know, Brian. I would completely forget to collapse that stock.
Oh, yeah. But you only have to shatter a stock once, and then you won't forget again.
Fair.
Yeah. So,
or you've seen the video where the guy like pinches his finger on it and he can't get his finger out, right?
No.
Oh,
well, check YouTube later. The guy mortars it. His buttstock collapses onto his finger and jams on there and will not let go of his finger.
Oh,
It looks painful.
That's worse than broken. Yeah. Okay. Either or. No. Don't always collapse your stock. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Learn from other people's mistakes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Who's got the next one? Arms East.
I'll take this one. So Arms East, it has a sale on all Stag rifles. Apparently the ones they have in stock. Which is fine. Stag makes decent rifles. Nothing wrong with Stag.
I would love to get my hands on like a 16.5-inch Stag.
And Stag is one of the might be the only manufacturer I know of that makes a left-handed upper.
Correct.
So
well, correct. They make one. I don't know if it's the only one, but they really they got all out there with the advertising. They'll let the world know.
Yes. So I'm a big fan of that.
So why have you never tried it?
I just haven't needed to buy an upper. Like I don't know. I've never seen just a stripped upper for sale. Because, I'm snobby about barrels and stuff. So
they're selling complete uppers.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that. I've never seen a stripped upper, a stripped Stag upper for sale. If I saw one, I would grab it. So
you could sell the parts off it.
I could, but that takes more effort than I'm interested in.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Stag rifles on sale in Newfoundland. Arms East is in Newfoundland, so
they are absolutely.
Probably buy a rifle and get a bottle of Screech.
It's possible. You could probably ask them just now. Can that go across the border? That's the question.
Oh, don't even. It's way too soon. Trigger warning.
We'll come back to that later in the after show.
Bastards.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Who wants to talk about True North Arms and a waterproof copy of the Maccabee FRT?
I just want to know why they
wanted one on the fidget spinner they got on the picture there. If they could like micro etch it on there, because I'm always going to have the fidget spinner on me anyways.
True. No, you're not.
I'm never going to have this little waterproof card.
Why are you going to have a fidget spinner? You're not 12.
He's 12 inside.
Yeah, but weren't fidget spinners like 2016 or something?
No, I was going to mount it on the Picatinny rail for the rifle.
Anyway, can we go and talk about this thing instead of the fidget spinner, please? Because listeners who can't watch the show don't see the fidget spinner.
All right.
Fine.
Anyway, so the FRT report, the True North Arms has paper copies that they have laminated and they'll mail to you for free. I guess this is a thing. I don't know. It's kind of a fun little thing to do. Whatever.
It's kind of a fun little thing to do. I mean, some of the guys want to carry something around with that rifle so that when they get pulled over by the cops, they're not like, "What, you got an AR-15?" Be like, "Actually, that's not an AR-15, my good sir. You'll notice over here. I just got a card. It's easier."
Just like that. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Anything else, or are we ready to jump into our main topic?
Let's go to the topic.
All right. So for this week's topic, we put on Facebook. We thought it was just going to be Brian and I, and we could really wreck stuff and run things off the rails because, one, he's a temp, and two, I don't care, and I would like to watch the world burn. But then Adriel was like, "You guys aren't doing that without me." He didn't really say that, but I know he was thinking it. Anyway, tonight's episode, Brian and Trevor answer your questions. It's an Ask Us Anything episode. Post your questions here before 6 p.m., and we will read them live on the air. That is what I wrote on Facebook, kids. And we got a slew of questions and a whole bunch of hanger-ons and comments. And anyway, I went through and I deleted everything that wasn't a question so that we could get through this quickly. Okay, so first question comes to us from Chuck Wagon in Nova Scotia. And he says, shooting classic division, what bullet did you prefer? The 125 grain or the 147 grain? Much of a difference in muzzle lift, flipperosity? Well, Charlie, truth be told, I have not shot anything in classic yet other than 125 grain. I just rolled up some 147 test loads. What I would like to do is stop reloading and just buy ammo from X Metal and compare their 147 grain factory ammo and their 124 grain factory ammo. See which one groups better and see which one has, if at all, noticeable muzzle rise. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, actually. I got some test loads. I'm all out of 125 grain, and my sponsorship deal came with some 147, so it'll be 147 probably. Whether I buy or load remains to be seen. Okay, Jason Philp says, is there an optimum width front sight side post pistol, rifle, shotgun? Okay, so let's fill in the blanks here. He wants to know if there's an optimum width front sight post for a pistol sight, a rifle sight, and a shotgun. I can only speak to pistol, and the relationship between the front sight and the rear notch, it depends on the game you're playing. Yeah, there's an optimal width for steel. There's an optimal width for precision. There's an optimal width for practical shooting, where you're shooting targets close and fast. And I would say the widest one of those three would be for your up close targets for practical shooting, where super precision isn't required because you're close. And the wider the notch is, the faster you're going to find the front blade in that notch. So steel would be somewhere in between that and precision or bullseye, which would probably be the tightest. You guys, am I on?
So the answer is no, there's not an optimal. There you go. Next question.
Okay.
Well, really, no, it's like you say, it's going to depend on what you're doing. It's going to depend on your eyes.
Get that too.
And it's going to depend on the distance you're shooting. So there's not a single optimal for anything.
Correct. Tim Crosno asks, how many aggressive honeybees will Air Canada allow on a flight to New Brunswick? Or should I just mail them to Trevor? Asking for a friend. Sorry. Let me rephrase. Or should they just be mailed to Trevor? Asking for a friend. Yes.
You could probably order those through Amazon. So I bet you could order those direct to his house.
Probably. Yeah.
And your friend is a Richard.
Yes. I don't know how you get the aggressive versus the passive honeybees, but I'm not a bee guy. So
Africanized.
Africanized, yes. There you go. Yep. Some Adriel Mishad. Yeah. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Definitely one horse-sized duck.
I don't know.
Anything mess you up.
Yeah,
like
how a horse is a big animal. I could take on a lot of ducks. A lot of horses the size of a duck. Yeah,
horse-sized duck. Well, I'm not going to fight fair.
True.
I mean, I'm going to shoot it.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, you take one, moose caliber rifle, and you've got the horse-sized.
No,
duck.
this is fight. This isn't like shoot, hunt, and kill. This is
fight. That's fighting. People fight with guns. They do that.
One of my best friends in university was into jujitsu and stuff, and we used to grapple a lot. And I always used to tell him, if this ever gets real, I'm just going to shoot you. That was always my fallback. Yeah, and this applies to the horse-sized duck.
The horse-sized duck ambushes you in an alley.
100 duck-sized horses ambush me in an alley.
I think you got the duck-sized horses. They're small. You just step on them. No problem.
You punt them around like footballs.
Wow,
yes.
We are spending way too much of my time on this question. Let's go.
All right. Tom says, is the CZ Omega trigger actually any better than the normal one on a CZ75B? Thomas, as someone who has shot regular CZ75s, Shadows, Shadow 2s, and this piece of crap 75B with the Omega, I can tell you that the 75B with the Omega trigger is the worst product CZ has ever made and unleashed onto the market. The Omega trigger is garbage compared to the rest of them. It has no redeeming qualities. It has a drop safety, so it makes the double action trigger pull longer and heavier. And the Omega bar is different from the regular two-sided CZ75 bar. The reset is longer than any other CZ75. The single action is creepy. It's as creepy as Uncle Brian. It's just it's awful. Awful. Thank God they didn't manage to mess up the ergonomics. But the Omega trigger is garbage.
There you go.
All right, next.
Tim Crosno. I have a carbine buffer in a 20th rifle length upper.
Well, there's your problem.
What? Carry
Keep
on.
going.
All right. He's occasionally getting a failure to feed, and he's always getting a failure to lock back on an empty mag. Does he use a buffer spring with a lower K value or a different buffer? If a different buffer, which one? Tim, based on my recent experience, I'm going to tell you to replace your gas tube. That's
That's the problem right there.
That's the
well,
problem.
it could be. I have
I'm
several
going buffer.
It could, yeah. And I don't know the weight of the buffers I have in my rifles. It's pretty easy to make a 20-inch rifle work with a carbine length buffer, and
Maybe he has a heavy.
He might have a heavy. He might have. I'm not sure. Maybe an H2 works fine. I don't have a scale at home to actually weigh the buffers that I have.
I've got an H2 and an H and a scale and a regular one. I should weigh them all for fun and report back next week.
Yeah, I've got a standard in H1, H2.
Weigh 'em.
Yeah.
All right, this is the guy who wants
But
to.
that's okay. But are you running them with a 20-inch gas system on an AR?
I'm running a regular weight buffer in my SLR build, which has got a rifle length barrel but a mid-length gas system.
So have you function tested that?
Well, of course not. I don't have the upper and lower yet.
So that's not really all that valid.
Okay, well, how about my 3-gun rifle?
Oh, there you go.
It's a rifle length barrel, a rifle length gas system, and a Spikes Tactical regular weight buffer.
What's rifle length for the barrel mean? Like 18, 20?
18,
the gas system length.
Yeah,
So-
both. The barrel is 18, and the gas system length is quote unquote rifle length.
Yeah.
I should put my H2 in there and see what happens. I bet you it just coughs up all over the place. It's going to short stroke is what it's going to do. It's not going to have enough gas to drive that heavy buffer back, which is, I suspect, what Tim's problem is.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be an H buffer. I mean, a carbine buffer should work either or. It should be pretty forgiving with the rifle length system because the gas pressure is pretty low. I would really be inclined to say check your gas tube. I have a bent one I'll send to you, Tim. You could straighten it right out. It'll be fine.
Straighten it out and put a pipe cleaner down there and see what comes out. I've been posting some links on the side there. You can mail people 18,000 ladybugs, praying mantis eggs that'll hatch like 1,000 of them, 5,000 predatory mites. You can mail people a ridiculous amount of weird bugs.
Can I mail Black Widows to Texas?
Ooh, probably not.
They probably already have Black Widows.
Yeah.
Crosnell's listening live right now, and he says that he has I have a typical carbine weight buffer.
Yeah, I would think then honestly it's probably a gas thing. Maybe his gas block isn't lined up properly.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably gas, not carbine, not buffer weight, Tim, or buffer spring.
And if I remember correctly, he's using factory ammo, so it's not like. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's got the next one from Tommy? Brian, you should take the next one.
I will take this from Tom Hengry. How long with Brian with a Y be a co-host? Should I unsubscribe to MMR? A Modern Rifleman Radio. Hopefully Matthew's doing well and will return soon. Okay, I'm going to answer these in reverse order. I don't care about Matthew. Why unsubscribe? It's not hurting you to be subscribed. Someday there might be an episode. You never know. A little Easter egg will show up in your feed. I can't answer the question about co-hosting because I keep being told almost weekly by Trevor, you're only here for a short time. Don't get used to it.
You're only here for a short time. Don't get used to it. I just
There you go.
don't remember
That's
if I
to
told
keep
you yet
sharp
this week.
and focused.
Yep. Mr. Temp.
Yeah, I did get a message
On
an early morning, Monday morning. Your services will not be required this week. I do.
At least it was this week when Matthew and I got told our services were no longer required. It had a more permanent ring to it.
But that was right after you sent a message that said we quit. So
No, it was we quit after this date.
okay.
And they were like,
Well,
no,
whatever.
you quit now, bitches. You're gone.
Anyway, yes.
That's a pro move.
Yeah. Awesome.
Brent, that's not a question. 100 ducks. Oh, 100 duck-sized clowns or one clown-sized duck?
Trevor's going for the one duck because it's no clowns. that's what he wants.
Yeah.
Or would you enjoy swatting 100 clowns?
Oh, but I would enjoy eating a duck the size of a clown. It's a lot of meat on that thing. I went straight to like how many?
What do they taste like? What do the
duck
clowns
is
taste
amazing.
Like? Probably tastes funny.
Oh,
it's probably got latex in
clown-sized
there and
duck.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Walk into a wall for me, would you?
Not good.
Michael Loberg says, "What's the hang-up game?" I immediately checked my phone. Michael and I have spoken on the phone a couple of times. I immediately checked my phone to see if I added him to my contacts so I could demonstrate for him what the hang-up game was, but I did not have it. So
yeah, that's okay.
Mark McLean.
You got to figure it out, folks. You just
it's amazing how much difficulty some people have with it, Brian.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand. Anyway,
all right, Mark McLean. Anybody?
Okay, I'll read it anyway. 5.56 bullet weights versus barrel twist rates. I am new to the 5.56 and I'm going to start hand loading them. What types of shooting I do are similar to what you guys do. So, what is your favorite recipe for 5.56?
Cheap.
First of all,
cheap and by the thousand.
Yeah. A rule of thumb: the faster the twist rate, the heavier the bullet.
Or the longer the bullet, the faster the twist weight is required.
Or just get a 1 in 8 and call it a day.
Yeah, you can pretty much do anything with a 1 in 8.
Get a 1 in 7, you can definitely do everything.
Yeah. Like
a 1 in 8 is fine.
My NEA was a 1 in 7, and it would shoot 55 grain like nobody's business.
Yeah. That's
just stay away from the 1 in 9, 1 in 10, 1 in 12. I mean, rare to find a 1 in 12 these days, but they are out there. A lot of people are like, oh, I'd like to get a 1 in 9, then I can shoot 55 grain. Well, you can shoot 55 grain out of the faster twists. That's fine.
Yeah, and honestly, we beat this horse to death last time, but there's not a lot of people who are loading 55 grain are not loading 55 grain match bullets, so they're not really all that accurate anyway, no matter how you spin them. So,
Adriel, you want to take Sion?
Should just buy it by the thousand. I don't actually have the Facebook open.
Okay, so he says, what is the likelihood of C71 passing in its current form? And following that, okay, well, let's start with that. The likelihood is the threat 100%. Is real 100%. Yeah.
If you can get higher than 100, we'll get that. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
Majority government, right? So it's going to pass in its current form. No ifs, ands, or buts. What would you expect? Yeah. What would you expect compliance levels to be? I expect all law-abiding gun owners to follow all laws all the time. Also, how bad of an idea would it be to register a bunch of non-existent CZ858s and then call in transfers of them between a large group of people every few days just to delegitimize the totally not a registry data? Well, that's not going to work because according to the current system, when you call to transfer these non-restricted guns between people, they're not going to ask you for the information about the gun.
So you could call in a bunch and like really rack up their costs and make call times like really long for everyone else who's trying to transfer real guns.
But aren't 858s going to go on the prohib list as part of the C71?
Right. So they would be tracked anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, I've thought about just the calling in and calling in like an inordinate amount of transfers. There's something to be said about having the program be an enormous financial failure.
The first one was an enormous financial failure, and it didn't stop them from bringing back another one.
Well, eventually,
government. They don't care if it's a failure financially.
No, not at all.
No. And you know what? I got a job. Trevor, you got a job. Adriel, you got a job.
And my taxes are paying for this crap.
How much time are we supposed to spend away from our job calling the government with prank phone calls?
Yeah. Well, your taxes are paying for a lot of other crap that's totally useless.
Yeah, well, this is a crap to defend.
Listen, I pay a lot of taxes and I have to work hard to be able to pay those. So I don't have time for this nonsense.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Troy says, Trevor Furlot, if God is all powerful, can he create a rock so large that he himself can't lift it? Nothing comes from nothing, Troy. That's my answer to that.
There you go. Awesome.
Kim Shan, it is too bad it is not a call-in show. If it was, we could take bets on how soon before Trevor hung up on someone. You guys want to stand by? I'm going to call Kim and hang up on her.
It could be a call-in show. Like we
could be a call-in show. Yeah. I told her she knows how to reach me. Brian, you got Facebook open?
Yes, I do.
All right, take over. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead with Ernie here. Of the shooting sports, which is closest to a possible real-life situation minus the incoming lead, of course?
None.
Yeah, that's why they're fun. Seriously, I don't want to get in a gunfight. I'm not interested in gunfighting. Not my thing.
I mean, so IDPA is kind of close because you have to like reload behind cover and that kind of thing. But like even it has its gamers. There's still people who game IDPA.
You know what? I'm gonna go in a different direction. I think Sporting Clays is the closest to a real life situation. Ooh, it's closest to like real hunting, in my opinion. But that's a real situation. Other than that, in terms of a martial, a game that closely emulates a martial contest, no.
I mean, I like your Sporting Clays one because then at least I bet if you were like awesome at Sporting Clays, you could probably punch a duck pretty quick.
Yeah, you'd think, yeah. So from that, yeah. Okay, let's go with that one.
Any of the other ones? Any of the rifle ones? Nah.
I can think of.
Nah, none of them that are going to save your butt.
It's interesting. I was talking with a friend today about it, and a lot of what we have for shooting sports now were initially devised as ways to do training, but then they morphed into sports and games.
Yeah.
And that's just seems to be the way things go. We reap the benefits, those of us who are sports shooters, because we get to participate in those sports and play those games, and it's a lot of fun. But we're not learning how to fight. We're not learning how to kill people. We're just learning how to shoot fast and accurately or some combination thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a heck of a lot of fun. You meet a lot of cool people, and you just have it's a reason to get out and do awesome, cool things and be better with your firearms. So,
yep.
All right, cool. Brian Sheets, what would you rather have? A person with a $200 gun and $200 in training, or a $1,200 gun and $0 in training in a
$200 gun
as your club, as a member, and lastly on your friends list? I'm okay with either or on my friends list. I would much rather have people with training though.
The training makes a much bigger difference, and that person's going to win the match, not the person with the $1,200 gun.
Now, that being said, I'm not going to be upset with somebody who's new and drops $1,200 on their first gun. Nope. And then if they come out with a learning attitude, that's what really matters. I don't really care what they're using one way or the other. If it's a $200 high point or a $3,000 open IPSC rig or a $10,000 precision bolt gun, don't care.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he mentioned $1,200. I mean, that's right around the price of a Shadow 2, which would be a better choice than like a 75 Omega or something like that, right?
Or or some other crap. Yeah. So yeah, for sure. All right. All right. You know what? I'm gonna skip this next one from Ernie until Trevor comes back, just because. All right, Jeff Young, where do birds go at night? Depends on the bird. I mean, some of them go to clubs. Some of them hang out in trees. Some of them
go to my house and go on the barbecue.
Yes, some of them do that. Yeah. Some of them go in ponds, fields. Yeah, they're
golf courses.
You know, birds are not like of a hive mind. They don't all do the same thing. They're not Borg. They're birds. It's different. Okay, from Brendan, if Trevor was to walk to Alberta on a blown calf, how long would it take? Or would he rage quit in Quebec? He wouldn't make it to the end of his street before he rage quit. Like, mostly because trying to walk across provinces is dumb. unless you have
Well,
a
New
really
Brunswick's not that big.
yeah, no, but still, unless there's a really good reason, um, but no, I'm not walking across provinces, so no. It's 2018. We have air travel now. So
What about PEI?
oh well, you do that by accident. You take a wrong turn and you've gone across that province. Yeah, it's tiny. Brad Smith, optics on handguns. Don't like them for competition. Adria, let's take that one in tow.
I would run an optic in competition if it didn't put me in another class and make me buy a bunch more expensive stuff. So I like TAC Ops, the division in 3-gun, because it's inexpensive and it's the right amount of stuff for me for what I want to pay. If I had to go open, I'd have to get an open pistol. Open pistols are $4,000. I'd have to get the red dot. I have to get the mount. There goes another $500, $600, $700. And then I'd have to probably get a fancy shotgun, and I'd probably have to add another maybe a 45-degree offset red dot on my rifle, and I'd get a divorce, and I'd live by myself. So,
which honestly, we all live in fear of as husbands anyway. Okay, now here's a question: if you were shooting just in a pure pistol sport and you're shooting carry optics, so then everybody else is shooting carry optics as well, why would you switch to carry optics where you're then competing against other people with carry optics? You're not getting an advantage on people shooting iron sights. Would you do it just because it's fun, or what are some reasons why people would do that?
Well, it's carry optics because that's kind of the way things are going. It's you know what? If you were a cop or in the military and you had to use your pistol a lot, you would probably put a red dot on it. You'd probably want to be able to shoot that. If and this is not a real circumstance, right? Because having a red dot on a pistol makes it a higher performing weapon. So if carry optics was a really popular division out here, I would probably run a pistol with a red dot on it, because that's it seems fun, and it's not that much money, and I would do that.
Yeah. No, you brought
go ahead.
You brought up a point though. If you were in a martial sense, a police, military, where you are in a competition with somebody else and it's win or lose, and that you're not stuck in a division where everybody's going to have the same equipment, you can have an equipment advantage, then it makes sense. But from a sporting point of view, you might do it, you might not. There's no real big advantage to it unless you have say bad eyes,
right? Which
get to the point where you can't see the front sight very well. Mm-hmm. So you might just enjoy the sport more by going that route.
It's also, having shot both open division and iron sights, carry optics is good for someone who is cross-eye dominant, because they can shoot with both eyes open. They no longer have to pick a hand or pick their eye or close one eye or put.
I just keep my chin on my right. I'm cross-eye dominant, and when I'm shooting, rather than keeping my head centered or off the side, I actually push it off to the right so that my left eye is looking down the sights of the pistol.
Yeah, my left eye looks down the side of the pistol, but I don't move my head. I move the gun. And that happened from a year of shooting with both eyes open with an optic. When I switched back to iron sights, the muscle memory just would pull the gun under my left eye. So you're going to have better form doing that. You're not going to twist anything around in awkward positions. You may not be able to get yourself in that position that you turn your head or whatever. I think it's great. I'm going to get Adriel's FN, and when I do, I'm going to put an optic on it like we did for Chris Kingston's at the shop. And you don't need an open gun in 3-gun. If you put an optic on your pistol, it doesn't have to be a full-blown race pistol. Very few guys, I think, even shooting at the top level, are shooting actual open pistols.
They're starting to go to the 2011 style pistols.
Yeah, sure. But that's not an open gun.
What's that?
Doesn't make it an open gun.
No, it doesn't until you get the compensator and all that kind of stuff. And in open for 3-gun, they're starting to do that kind of stuff.
It's not enough pistol to bother justify. You can't justify a $4,000 pistol when you shoot it 10% of the time.
Why? But why do you have to justify it?
Well, you don't, but I mean, very few people are going to spend $4,000 on a pistol. They're only going to use 10% of the match.
I agree. However, but then you get that competitive advantage in equipment. Okay, I'm one of the people who's going to do that, and none of other people are going to do it. So I have a mechanical advantage.
You don't, though.
Like,
For the amount of pistol shooting you're shooting, you're not going to blow everybody away with your open gun, because the value of that part of the stage isn't enough to
it depends on the match. So on a match with some really long range targets or something where an open gun is going to give you a big advantage, maybe, but it really depends on the match and the match style. The close, like Hoser kind of targets, anything's going to be fine.
And honestly, Trevor, it will become an advantage when you start running an open gun in your 3-gun match and you design the stages, because you will design the stages to work with your equipment.
No, I did that only for shotgun.
So far.
Yeah, no, I know enough about the pistol to know it's pointless. Plus, because we're such a strong pistol province and only have maybe 3-gun matches a year, we go heavy on pistol or on rifle and shotgun.
Well, okay, but that's your bias based on what you're doing. If
that's right.
Different matches, different setups, different ways. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah. So.
All right, let's go back up and talk about Black Badge from Ernie. I've heard Slamfire Radio say that the Black Badge course is not or shouldn't be a fundamentals course, but others disagree. Should I avoid training with those that believe it is a fundamentals course until I find a true fundamentals course? Hope that makes sense.
Let me go back to why there's kind of a push in IPSC right now to tell people that it's not a fundamentals course. They're actually changing the title from Black Badge training course to Black Badge certification course. A lot of people don't think they should have to take a Black Badge, and most of those people don't think they should have to take a Black Badge because they can't get into a class because there's not enough instructors, not enough classes being offered. They're not being offered enough. So one of the attitudes is, well, if we would just do away with it, then I wouldn't have to worry about getting into a class. And then we have people who say, I'm military, I'm law enforcement, I know how to shoot. Why do I have to take your Black Badge class? Well, because we're not teaching you how to shoot. We are certifying that you are able to shoot within the context of our sport.
And because they're military or police, and they could probably use the extra training anyways.
Well, that's not the case. Thank you, Mr. Facetious Pants. Trying to actually give
I'm not being facetious. The military and police shooters usually could use a little bit of extra training for this kind of thing. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's has nothing to do with the rationale for this, though. But those people, we do get that argument from military and law enforcement. I am military. I'm law enforcement. I already know how to shoot. Why should I have to take the Black Badge class? Because it's not a training course. We're not teaching you how to shoot. You're supposed to know how to shoot before you get here. You're supposed to spend the day shooting these drills under IPSC times to prove that you can shoot under IPSC times. We're not teaching you to shoot and then getting you to shoot the required amount of rounds within the prescribed time. You're showing up and you're showing us that you know how to do it. That's why it's not a fundamentals course. Others who say it's a fundamentals course, it teaches you to draw, and it touches upon stance, and it touches upon grip, and it touches upon techniques for shooting weak hand, and it touches upon techniques for shooting strong hand, and it shows you how to go prone, and it shows you how to go kneeling. It shows you all those things. So it shows grip, it shows stance, it discusses trigger press, it discusses flash sight picture and sight picture. Okay, so yes, the fundamentals are touched upon in the class, but the main purpose of the class is to certify that you can shoot the sport of IPSC. Yeah. You're not, and that's where the emphasis is going to be.
And there's a heavy emphasis on the rules of IPSC, which are not going to be like the rules of other sports or other non-competitive type shooting. So
you're absolutely right, Brian. I totally forgot to touch upon that part.
Yeah.
There's the class requires 16 hours of training to be divided between the range and the classroom. There is a manual there, and if I want to do that manual justice and the open book exam, I can easily spend 6 hours on that material. easily. And then maybe 7 hours if I take a whole hour dedicated just to the correcting of the exam. When the students do the exam, they're supposed to show up to the course. Now, I can only speak from my own experience. The program is national. It's, I would hope, supposed to be taught the same way in every province, but I know, just like the Firearms Act, it's administered a little bit differently in every province. The way things are done here is the exam and the rule book are handed out to the students prior to the classroom portion of the course, and they have to do the open book exam before they arrive at the classroom portion of the course. Well, for some of these people, they have no context. They don't know what any of these things mean, and they can't really piece it together. They're just looking up answers in a book and not fully understanding how they fit within the context of the game. What we do then is when we correct the exam, that a lot of learning happens. That's where things are explained in greater detail and examples are given and questions are asked by the students. So yeah, it's not, I wouldn't say avoid a black badge that says they were going to focus on fundamentals. But just there's nothing wrong with focusing on the fundamentals in black badge, but just know that the black badge course is not designed first and foremost to teach you to shoot.
But devil's advocate, it's not a bad course to teach you some of the stuff to shoot, and it's a pretty good course as a general primer to competition, even though it's specific to IPSC.
Absolutely. I cannot disagree with anything that you said. McClatchy had been shooting pistols for a couple of years before he took his black badge. We had a decent black badge. I'd like to think that Matthew and I have improved upon the black badge program that we first took. But Matthew came out of his black badge a much better pistol shooter than when he went in. It was his first formal, I believe his first formal instruction. It was certainly my first formal instruction. I never shot a pistol except for just plinking at the range for fun with, well, Officer Frank showed me a few things, but really, I mean, I didn't know much going into my black badge. So, yeah, you ended your question, Ernie, with hope that makes sense. Well, I hope our answer makes sense. Jeff Young says, where do birds go at night?
We already covered that
one.
We
went back to that one for you.
But yeah, sorry, we're on Dan.
No, I'm on Jeff's. Where do birds go at night? They go to sleep, Jeff.
Okay.
Look at, man, I was holding that one in all day. I had to get it out. Where are we now?
Can we jump ahead to Dan Grady, please?
Dan Grady. Last week?
Yes.
Last week, it seemed like Brian felt left out about not having received anything from Dick's by mail. Seems like something that should be rectified.
You're wrong, Dan. Move on.
I
got nothing.
You know, you can add glitter bombs now.
You know what? I don't know if we need to cover this last question from Mr. Sheets. It's not really within the context of the show.
All right. Neither is where do birds go at night.
That's true.
However, I like Brian Sheets more than I like you. So
okay, so you really want to ask how do blind people know when to stop wiping? You really want to go there? Because that's the question. Honestly, I don't know. It's never something I've considered.
That's what bidets are for, Brian. All right.
I'm from Nova Scotia. We don't do that. We don't do bidets.
Well, maybe your blind Nova Scotians do.
I'm sure it would have come up in conversation.
Filthy. Field dark earth, or did he mean flat dark earth?
I think he meant flat. He failed.
Flat dark earth. Oh, he missed. Get it?
Yes.
Flat dark earth, which is beige, or burnt bronze, which is beige. Which color is more appropriate for Cerakote? For Cerakote, my 19. Who wrote this? James Bork. To Cerakote, my 1911 A1.
And for Filthy, white is always the right color.
Right.
There's no other. Yes.
Right. For Filthy, white is right.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen a white 1911.
There's a reason for that.
Yes.
Blasphemy. John Moses Browning will come haunt you.
Okay, Dave Williams. Why does Trevor suck so much? And my response was, we only have so much time.
Yeah, that was a good response. How does Paul Furlot know that Trevor sucks? And he hashtagged it, the bugger. And then, of course, Paul actually has a banner made that says Trevor sucks. He drove to New Brunswick from Ottawa at Christmas time, didn't come see me, but came to my home, stood on my front step with his Trevor Sucks banner and photographed himself doing it and posted it all over Facebook. What kind of man has a banner made that says so-and-so sucks, poses in front of your house, and doesn't have the balls to knock on your door and look you in the eye when he does it?
Paul Furlot.
Paul Furlot. That's the kind of man.
That's the kind of man, yeah.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it was funnier his way.
Well, get this. So after school today, the bus never came for my kids. So I got on the phone with the school district. I'm like, where's the bus? Why isn't the bus here? Where's the bus? And I got to be somewhere. So, but I got to stay with my kids, obviously. Anyway, I throw the kids in the truck and I take them up to the high school. Meet the driver who didn't come down for them. It didn't have a valid reason. But anyway, it's a story for another day. I'm calling the school board after to complain about the driver. Well, complain about the driver. I mean, I know the guy, so I wasn't throwing the bus driver under the bus necessarily. But I was saying something, and all of a sudden the person on the other end of the phone goes, "Now I know why Paul Furlot puts Trevor Sucks on Facebook so much."
Okay, good. I'm really glad there's a point to this story because I was not seeing it.
This is my employer. Yeah. So she got a crash course in the hang-up game.
Well, she should.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that was earned.
Yeah. So the transportation assistant supervisor apparently went to school with Paul Furlot.
There you go.
All right. You want to take Bills?
Yeah. Okay. Brian, how many rundowns are there in service conditions in Ottawa? There's a rundown from the 2 to the 1. There's a rundown from the 3 to the 2 to the 1, from the 4 to the 3 to the 2 to the 1, and from the 5 to the 4 to the 3 to the 2 to the 1. So yeah, there's one in every stage. And let's see, do I shoot long range precision? Yes, I did last year with my AR, back to 800 meters. It was good fun. And how many stages are there? 8 stages in precision, each from 200 back to 800 meters. That sums that one up.
Bill Anderson says, Trevor, one for you. How many shooting events are you going to in the next 10 weeks? And I counted them up, and the answer is 8.
Whoa,
that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. That's kidless, Trevor.
Yep.
Yeah, childless, Trevor. There you go.
I've got 5 black badges before the end of May.
Yeah, that's right. He does. It's not competitive events; it's events he's teaching too. So that does really fill up the calendar.
Each of those black badges comes with a level 2 match.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're shooting. You're going to be the guy who's been shooting IPSC for years against a bunch of black badge students. These
level 2 matches are open to anyone in the world.
Oh, okay. All right. I sit corrected, sir.
Yes, you do.
Well played. Yes, I should be hung up on now.
Or you could just try being quiet for a while. Mark Price says, discuss the pros and cons of shooting standard minor in IPSC, especially with a single action, double action trigger, asking for a friend. Okay, so I need to give a little bit of backstory for the listeners who don't know. IPSC has divisions. The divisions are production, standard, open, revolver, production, optics. Production, if you have a double action, single action gun like a CZ, in production, you start with the hammer forward, and your first trigger pull is a double action trigger pull. Then, of course, the gun cycles, and every trigger pull after that is single action. Standard division is a division for single action guns, like the 1911 or the 2011, or you could shoot a Glock 35 in there. It's also a division where the scoring is major power factor scoring. So when you're in standard division, your hits are scored as major if your ammo makes major power factor. So the scoring values on the target are worth more than in production, where the scoring is called minor. So it goes like this. Major scoring is 5, 4, 2. In standard or productions, the scoring is 5, 3, 1. So everybody's alpha is worth 5. Then the Charlie is worth 4 in major, 3 in minor. The delta is worth 2 in major and 1 in minor. So if you do what Mark Price is asking here, shooting what's called standard minor, it means that you have a 9mm gun shooting a minor power factor, but you're competing against the standard guys. So you're in standard minor. You're in the standard division, but you're scoring minor. So let's say Mark and I shoot off against each other, and we shoot the same time, and we shoot the same hits on the target. I'm going to win because my Charlies and my Deltas are worth more than his Charlies and his Deltas. Now, so there's a disadvantage. I mean, it's just not smart unless you are super fast and super accurate and you don't fall outside of the A zone. Then you can survive in standard minor, but it's there's less. No one is winning world championships in standard shooting minor. No one does it. If you're in standard, you're shooting major. That's just all there is to it. The advantage, or not the advantage, the reason why competitors like to shoot standard minor with double action, single action guns is because they don't want to take that first shot with a double action trigger pull. They also don't want to lower their hammer. So here's what happens. They load the gun, they rack it. Well, here, I'm going to do this on camera. I'm going to take my Beretta here. Even though the Beretta has a decocker, I won't use it. If you had a gun with a decocker, you could do it. Okay, so you insert the magazine, you rack the slide. Now the hammer's cocked. So if you're going to shoot production, you have to lower that hammer. So what guys do is they put their thumb in the back of the hammer, pull it back, and then they press the trigger in, and then they slowly raise their move the hammer forward until it's all the way down. Then they take the finger off the trigger. So now the gun is loaded. There's a magazine in the mag well. There's a round in the chamber, and the hammer has been lowered. So on the beep, I draw the gun, and then I pull the trigger, and the first shot is double action. But after that, every shot is in single action. Guys get nervous about lowering that hammer. It's great if you have a decocker. Use your decocker. If you don't have a decocker, you have to lower the hammer by hand using your thumb. And if it slips, you're disqualified because the gun goes bang when it's not supposed to. You're disqualified. So 2 reasons why guys want to shoot standard minor. They don't want to lower their hammer manually with their thumb, and they don't like that heavy, long first double action trigger pull. Problem is, it's just a training issue. You got to teach yourself to do both. Dry fire, dry fire, dry fire. Practice lowering your hammer at home and practice dry firing in double action, and none of this will be a problem. The best production shooters in the world lower their hammer. They figure it out. Ben Stager came to the Nationals last year and beat everybody but one open shooter with a production gun. Every first shot for Ben was a double action, right? So there's
now to be fair, lowering the hammer is a kind of an impractical thing to do, but it's within it's the requirement of the sport.
Well, exactly. And the intent of those double action, single action guns, they're intended to be carried with the hammer down. I don't think anyone carries a Beretta. Well, you can't.
Except the ones that have safeties like the CZs.
Right. But even still, if I was to carry this CZ, I wouldn't carry it cocked and locked.
Why not?
Because it's just easier.
It takes a whisper for that safety to come off. The safety on the CZ is not like super hard or stiff.
You say that, but you still have to disengage it. You still have to remember to put your thumb on it. Maybe you don't reach it so well. I'd much rather draw the gun, get a nice, strong two-handed grip, and press that first shot off in double action and light it up after that in single action.
There's been lots of 1911s carried cocked and locked for lots of years.
Yeah, and lots of people forget to disengage the safety.
Well, yeah, okay, but that, again, that's a training issue.
It is, but it's something you can eliminate from the equation. Just grab the gun and start shooting.
Just use a Glock.
Exactly. And if you don't have a Glock,
that is the right answer. Anyway.
Right, but this will function like a Glock. This will function better than a Glock. The first pull will be a double action. Every pull after that will be a single action.
I don't think like CZs and Shadows should be in production. Production's supposed to be for like combat or carry pistols. No one's carrying that big heavy tank around.
This is a duty pistol.
Yeah.
Your shadow is
Not anymore. Like no military or police.
Hey,
are
okay,
gonna
all right.
field
We
all
can't go
this.
down this road. Yeah.
This
It's
is
public
why
production,
this
not
is
service pistols. So that's where they get around it. Anyway.
right. Well, Adriel, this is why other shooting sports popped up because production wasn't really production. I mean,
No, that
remember,
one got like a tank photo,
right? Well, that's
thought
what
to
IPSC
extreme.
is. That's what IPSC is. IPSC's a game. If you want to shoot a duty gun, you got to go to IDPA.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Production just means that it's made in the factory.
Yep. Why doesn't the Glock 34 fit? Is it
too long.
overalls? Oh, okay. So it's also has some dimension issues. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, I compare it to the FNS. I compare it to the even the Arsenal Strike 1, the MMP Pro. It's noticeably longer than those guns.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's see. We're not going to talk about this one where you did a revisionist history of the comments. Jason Philp, how can a man with the patience to teach newbies, alternate students, and amateur podcasters rage quit anything? And why don't we get more go button moments? And based on Trevor's change of heart on 1911s and SKSs, how long till he changes from bows and IPSC to IDPA and trap doubles?
The reason why I rage quit is because I use all my patience for other people. Yeah, I expect more from myself than other people. When it doesn't go well, I don't cope. What else? Why I don't know. Why not more go button moments? I don't know. It's the moment's got to be right, man. You can't script the go button moments. They got to be natural.
Yeah.
I would never go to IDPA. I would go back to archery before I went to IDPA. If IDPA was the only pistol game in town, maybe. But if I lived in the US and I could shoot USPSA, IPSC, or IDPA, I would still stick with IPSC first and foremost. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Why do so many people that believe in climate change and rising sea levels live in coastal communities?
Because most people live in coastal communities.
Right. Yeah.
That's just where the people are. That's an easy answer.
Why does Paul spell his name wrong? Because he's a communist. He spells it with an I instead of a U.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I think that's it for questions.
All right. Cool.
Did you miss anything? Okay.
No. Let's move on. So we have no listener feedback, and we have no reviews.
Did we check for listener
feedback? I did
feedback?
check. Yep.
Okay.
Shout outs. I've got a couple. I got one to Paul. I don't remember why, so whatever. Mark Hache, I hope your wife is listening, and I hope she lets you shoot IPSC. And to Lee, I think it's Lee. Lee and I don't know what the relationship is between them. Partner, husband, whatever. Lee and some guy, I guess, showed up at a gun club meeting last week and stayed for the business meeting and then came downstairs to the pub for the actual meeting that takes place after the gun club meeting. And she is living in the Quebec side, but from Ottawa, and did some kind of long range type shooting I never heard of before. Wants to check out some pistol stuff and maybe some 3-gun stuff. So pretty awesome.
Did she have a name for the type of long gun?
She did, dude, but it was something I had never heard of, so it didn't stick.
Fair enough. All right. Cool.
Adriel, do you NRA big bore or silhouette or anything crazy like that?
It wasn't silhouette. It was some kind of target shooting.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. Next time you see her, ask for a follow-up so we can know what she's talking about. Because I'm curious.
Right in.
Yeah, there you go. It's a good idea.
I have a shout out for Kelly for buying my shadow.
In her defense, she did it to save herself from zombie llamas.
Yep.
Is it llamas or llamas?
When there's zombies, you don't worry about.
Or potato.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, cool. I'm gonna shout out Ryan Stacy for returning my upper to me in a functioning fashion, so I can get out and get some shooting done.
Cool.
Very good. All right. Patreonies. We got a new one. Brent H for $10. Jonathan Howie for 1242. What's the 1242? Do we know?
I don't know. No.
Too clever for us, Jonathan, which doesn't take much. And Sean H for $5. Those are awesome. Pledges, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you would like to support the show through Patreon and get access to exclusive content, be invited on the show and receive some swag, you can do so by joining us at www.patreon.com/Slamfire Radio. Until next week, everybody. Join one or more of our national firearms associations, such as CCFR or the CCFR. Check us out on the GOC. Like us on Facebook. We're at 1,879. That's a lot of likes. That's it. Good night, everybody.
Hey, everyone.